It was one of those rainy Mondays that made everything feel heavier. The sky hung low, grey and unforgiving, and the wind whipped through the small Indiana town like it had somewhere to be. Tara Matthews sat behind the wheel of her rusted-out Dodge Caravan parked just outside her son's daycare, forehead pressed to the steering wheel. Her fingers trembled on the key, but the engine wouldn't turn over. Click, click. Nothing. She tried again. Click. Dead. "Not now," she whispered, voice cracking with exhaustion. Her son, 5-year-old Jamie, was in the back seat, humming a tune and swinging his legs. He had no idea the storm outside wasn't just weather. It was her life. Tara had been juggling 2 jobs since her husband left 3 years ago. She hadn't even had time to cry about it lately, and now the car had finally quit, just like everything else. She pulled out her phone. No battery. Of course. She looked up and saw a gas station. Across the street, through the rain, she spotted a man under the awning, wearing a navy hoodie and jeans, holding a cup of coffee. He looked like he was waiting on someone, or maybe nothing at all. With Jamie in tow, she trudged across the road. Have you ever had a day where everything just broke at once, and you had no choice but to keep going? Would you ask a stranger for help if you were desperate, or would pride keep you stuck? "Excuse me," she said, trying to steady her voice. "Do you happen to know anything about cars?" The man looked up. His eyes were warm, gentle, like he'd been expecting her. "I do," he said, setting his coffee down. "Let's go take a look." His name was Marcus. He was soft-spoken, but confident. As they crossed back to the van, Jamie skipped alongside him like they'd known each other forever. Tara watched, surprised. Marcus popped the hood and leaned in. Rain slid down the back of his neck. "Your starter's gone," he said finally. "I can fix it, if you don't mind waiting a bit. I've got tools in my truck." "Wait, you'd do that? Just like that?" she asked, almost suspicious. He smiled. "Yeah, it's not a big deal. I know what it's like when the world doesn't cut you a break." He got to work right there in the rain. Tara sat on the curb, Jamie leaning into her side, watching this. Stranger work with steady hands. It had been so long since anyone helped without asking for something in return. Can kindness from a stranger change the direction of your life? What would it mean to truly feel seen, for the first time in years? An hour passed, then 2. The rain eased up, the clouds parting slowly like a curtain after a show. "Try it now," Marcus said, stepping back and wiping his hands on his jeans. She turned the key. Broom! The engine came to life. Tara blinked. "Oh my God, it's running!" Jamie clapped. "Mommy, it works!" She looked at Marcus, this man she didn't know, who hadn't asked for money, who'd gotten soaked fixing a stranger's car. "Thank you," she said, voice thick. "I don't have much, but can I buy you lunch or something?" He hesitated. "Sure." They sat in the little diner next to the gas station. Tara told him about raising Jamie alone, about her husband walking out, about the hours she worked just to stay afloat. Marcus listened, didn't interrupt, didn't pity. He told her about working construction, how he fixed cars on the side, how he'd been raised by a single mom who taught him to never ignore someone in need. "You remind me of her," he said. "Strong, doing everything for your kid. Why do the kindest people often carry the heaviest burdens? And what if the person who shows up in your life isn't just a helper, but someone who belongs there?" As the lunch check came, Tara looked at Jamie, who had dozed off in the booth. "I don't know why I feel like I can trust you," she said quietly. "But I do." Marcus smiled again, that same steady, calming smile. They exchanged numbers. He offered to check her brakes the next weekend, free of charge. She hesitated, then nodded. That Sunday he showed up, with donuts for Jamie and tools for her car. It became a rhythm. He'd come by, fix something, stay for dinner. Jamie started calling him Mr. Marcus, and then just Marcus. One night, Marcus stayed after Jamie's bedtime, and they sat on the back porch, silence between them. "Why do you help us?" she asked. He looked at her, eyes soft. "Because someone helped me once, when I was a kid. It saved my life." Have you ever felt a connection so unexpected, yet so real it scared you. What happens when someone keeps showing up again and again with no agenda, except love? As summer deepened, the visits turned into routines. Marcus picked Jamie up from daycare when Tara worked late. He helped him with math, coached his soccer practices. Jamie glowed when Marcus was around. One night, as they all sat on the floor playing Uno, Jamie looked up suddenly and asked, "Can Marcus be my daddy?" The room went still. Tara's hand froze on her cards. Marcus looked stunned, not offended. Not nervous, just quiet. Tara swallowed. "Jamie," but Marcus knelt beside the boy. "You want me to be your daddy?" Jamie nodded. "I like you better than the other ones Mommy met." Tara's face flushed. She hadn't told Marcus about the few awkward dates. Jamie had always hated them. Later that night, after Jamie fell asleep, Tara stood in the kitchen, heart racing. She turned to Marcus. "I know he's just a kid, but he's not wrong," she said. "I've never seen him this happy." Marcus stepped forward. "And what about you?" She looked up at him, eyes wet, heart pounding. "I think I want that too," she said. "But I'm scared." He reached out and gently took her hand. "I'm not going anywhere," he whispered. "Would you take a chance on love again, after life already broke your heart once? Can a man who fixed your car also fix your family?" Tara had forgotten what it felt like to have someone in her corner. For weeks now, Marcus had been part of their world, not barging in, not forcing anything, just showing up, always with tools in his truck, patience in his voice, and something kind in his eyes. Have you ever gotten close to someone and then pulled back just when it started to feel real? Is it fear of love or fear of loss that keeps us guarded? The next morning, Tara didn't text Marcus. She didn't answer his message. Not because she was angry, because she was afraid of needing him, afraid of being abandoned again. But 2 days later, he showed up anyway, standing at her door, not demanding anything, just holding a small box of cupcakes for Jamie. Thought, "I dropped these off," he said with a smile. Didn't want to interrupt. She stood frozen in the doorway. "You're not interrupting." He didn't push, didn't even ask where she'd been. But she invited him in. Jamie lit up when he saw him. "Daddy Marcus!" The words sent a strange warmth through the room, and Tara's eyes immediately went to Marcus. He didn't correct the boy. He just smiled and knelt down to hug him. Tara watched, breath caught in her throat. Could this actually be happening? Can you trust someone who asks for nothing, yet gives everything? And what if you're the one holding yourself back because you think you don't deserve it? Later that night, after Jamie went to bed, Tara sat with Marcus on the porch again. A gentle breeze moved through the trees. Fireflies blinked in the yard. She finally spoke. "I'm sorry I went quiet. I've just been through a lot, I figured," Marcus said gently. She stared out into the night. "My ex, he left when Jamie was 2. Said he wasn't ready for fatherhood. Said I was too much, too needy. I've spent the last 3 years making sure I didn't need anyone." Marcus looked at her with quiet strength. "Tara, needing someone doesn't make you weak." "It does when they leave," she whispered. He reached over and placed his hand over hers. "I'm not going anywhere." And just like that, her heart cracked wider. She didn't cry, but she wanted to. Instead, she whispered, "I believe you. I just don't know how to let go." "You don't have to all at once," he said. "Just let me stand beside you. That's enough. What would it take for you to open the door to love again, even if it hurt before? Can someone new ever heal the damage someone else caused?" The days that followed felt like summer waking up. Inside her, Marcus stayed around more. He helped paint Jamie's room, taught him how to ride a bike. They laughed over burnt pancakes on Sunday mornings. Jamie called him Daddy more often, and Marcus never corrected him. It felt right, and yet the closer they got, the more something old stirred inside her. A fear she couldn't quite explain, a whisper saying, "This won't last." Then one afternoon, as they played in the yard, a car pulled up. Tara's smile dropped. It all was Jamie's biological father, Greg. He hadn't called, hadn't sent child support in almost a year. Now he stood in her driveway with sunglasses, swagger, and a new girlfriend in the passenger seat. "Hey," Greg said, acting like he still belonged there. "Just thought I'd drop by. Figured Jamie might want to see his old man." Jamie clung to Marcus's leg. Marcus stood tall, protective. Tara stepped between them. "You don't get to just show up," she snapped. "He doesn't know you," Greg scoffed. "You turning him against me with this dude?" Marcus didn't speak, but his presence was thunderous. What do you do when the past tries to crash into your future? Can someone fight for you when you're too tired to fight anymore? Jamie was confused, scared. Greg knelt awkwardly. "Hey, buddy, remember me?" Jamie clung tighter to Marcus. "No," Greg's smirk faded. "You can't replace me," he said to Tara. "He's mine." Tara's voice trembled, but it was strong. "He's not an object. He's a child. And you had your chance." Greg's girlfriend rolled her eyes from the car. "Can we go?" Greg looked at Marcus one last time. "This ain't over," and he peeled out of the driveway. Tara collapsed into a lawn chair, chest heaving. Marcus gently placed a hand on her shoulder. "I got you," he said softly. And in that moment, she knew he meant it. Can real love stand strong when chaos knocks at the door? What does it mean when someone doesn't just help you? They protect you? That night, as she tucked Jamie into bed, he whispered, "Is Marcus really going to be my daddy now?" Tara stroked his hair. "Do you want him to be?" Jamie nodded, eyes already drifting to sleep. She kissed his forehead. "Then maybe he will." Later, on the porch, she sat beside Marcus again. The stars above seemed closer than usual. "I saw how you stood up today," she said. "You didn't flinch. I wasn't going to let him hurt you or Jamie. You're not just helping me anymore," she whispered. "You're part of us." Marcus looked at her, then reached into his pocket, pulled out a small folded note. He handed it to her. She opened it. Inside, in simple handwriting, it read, "Wherever you go, I go too." She looked up, eyes shining, and for the first time in years, she didn't feel alone. Would you let someone in if they proved over and over they'd never leave? And what if the love you've been waiting for has been there all along? Tara should have known peace doesn't last forever. The days with Marcus had been the happiest she'd felt in years. He and Jamie had built a routine: school drop-offs, soccer on Saturdays, movie nights with popcorn in their tiny living room. Marcus never made promises. He just kept showing up. That was his promise. But happiness, Tara had learned, always came with a price. It started on a Tuesday. Tara got a letter from her landlord, a 30-day notice to vacate. The property had been sold. She stared at the paper, numb. They had nowhere to go. Then, the next day, her second job cut her hours in half. Just like that, her already fragile budget snapped. Rent, gas, groceries. It all felt impossible. And then, like fate piling on, Jamie came home from school with a fever that wouldn't break. 3 storms in 1 week. Tara sat in the dark, phone in hand, tears streaming down her cheeks. She didn't call Marcus because she was tired of always needing help. Why do we hide our pain from the people who care most? Is it pride, or the fear they'll walk away once they see how broken we really are? But Marcus noticed. He always noticed. When he showed up that evening and saw the packed boxes, the unopened mail in Tara's exhausted face, he didn't ask questions. He just held her. "What's going on?" he asked gently. I can't do this," she said, voice cracking. "We're losing the apartment, Jamie's sick, and I don't even know how I'm going to afford gas next week." Marcus didn't flinch. "Okay," he said. "Then we figure it out." She pulled away. "You don't get it. You're not his father. You're not my husband. You don't owe us anything." Silence. The words hung in the air like poison. Marcus looked at her, hurt flashing across his face. Then he nodded slowly. "You're right. I'm not his father. Yet. I'm not your husband. Yet. But I've been here. Every step. And I thought, you wanted me here." She turned away, tears falling fast. "I don't want to need anyone. Every time I dupes out, they leave." Marcus's voice cracked. "I'm not him, Tara." And with that, he left. The front door closed with a final thud, and The quiet afterward felt louder than any scream. Have you ever pushed away the one person who only wanted to love you? Can fear of loss become the very thing that causes it? Days passed, no calls, no texts. Jamie asked about Marcus constantly. Did he leave like Daddy did? He whispered one night, eyes wide. Tara couldn't answer, because she didn't know. She wanted to reach out, but the shame held her hostage until Saturday morning when Jamie's fever spiked to 104. She panicked. No car, no money for urgent care. And then she remembered Marcus. The man who always showed up. With trembling hands, she called him. He picked up on the first ring. 10 minutes later, he was at the door, car running, concern on his face. He scooped Jamie into his arms like he was his own child. They drove in. Silence except for Jamie's soft whimpering in the back seat. At the clinic, Marcus paced the waiting room like a father. When the doctor finally said it was just the flu, exhaustion and stress, Tara collapsed into a chair, relief flooding her. Marcus knelt beside her. You okay? She nodded, tears spilling again. Why? Did you still come? She asked. After what I said? He looked at her, firm and kind. Because love doesn't leave when things get hard. It shows up. What if the person who stayed through your worst was the one who truly deserved your best? Can love be stronger than fear, if you choose it to be? Later that night, back home, Tara tucked Jamie into bed and sat alone on the couch. Marcus walked in quietly and sat beside her. She turned to him. I was wrong, she whispered. You've never given me a reason to doubt you, but I doubted you anyway, I'm sorry. Marcus took her hand. I'm not here because you're perfect, Tara. I'm here because I see you, and I love what I see. The fight in you, the love. You give that boy the strength it takes to ask for nothing and still give everything. She looked at him, breath caught, and then, without thinking, she whispered, Do you want to be Jamie's father? Marcus didn't flinch. He leaned forward, voice steady. I already am. What does it mean to choose someone, not out of obligation, but out of love? And what if the family you dreamed of is already standing right in front of you? That night they sat in silence. No promises, no grand gestures, just closeness, trust. The wall around Tara's heart didn't shatter all at once, but it cracked enough to let him in. The next day, Tara received a call. A woman from the daycare, someone who knew her story, had referred her to a new non-profit offering housing support for single moms. They had a unit available, affordable, safe. 2 bedrooms, a fresh start. Marcus helped her move. He lifted every box, painted the walls, hung the curtains. Jamie watched from the floor, eating pizza and grinning. This is our home now, Tara whispered, standing in the doorway of their new living room. Marcus turned to her, holding Jamie's drawing in his hand. It was a picture of the three of them. Under it, Jamie had written, My family. Would you believe in second chances? Not just for love, but for life? And what if healing doesn't look like a miracle, but like someone staying when they don't have to? 6 months later, the rhythm of life had changed. Tara stood in her kitchen, a new one, with freshly painted yellow walls and mismatched dishes stacked in the sink. The smell of cinnamon rolls filled the air, and laughter echoed from the living room where Jamie and Marcus were battling it out in a silly video game. It wasn't perfect. Money was still tight. Tara still had her long shifts. Jamie still got fussy on school mornings, but there was joy now, there was light, and for the first time in years, and there was us. Tara leaned against the counter and smiled, watching them. Marcus caught her gaze and winked. He belonged here, not as a guest, as a part of the story. Can family be chosen? Not just by blood, but by action, by loyalty, by love, and when someone shows up for you every day, are they not already yours? It was a Sunday when everything shifted again. They were all dressed in their best, not fancy, but clean and coordinated. Jamie insisted on wearing a red clip-on tie that made him look like a tiny professor. They were heading to Marcus's mother's house for dinner. Tara was nervous. She hadn't met Marcus's family yet. What if they don't like me? She whispered in the car. Marcus reached over and squeezed her hand. They will, because they'll see what I see. When they arrived, A warm woman with silver braids and kind eyes opened the door. She looked at Tara, then at Jamie, then back at Marcus. "This her?" she asked softly. Marcus nodded. His mother pulled Tara into a hug. "Took you long enough to find someone like her." Inside, dinner was loud and loving. Laughter over roast chicken, Jamie telling knock-knock jokes, Marcus holding Tara's hand under the table. And when his mother looked across the room and said, "You've got yourself a good man, honey," Tara felt the tears prick her eyes. She just nodded. "I know. What does it mean when someone doesn't just welcome you into their life, but their whole world? And what if home isn't a place, but the people who see you and stay anyway?" That night, back at their apartment, Jamie was asleep, curled between two stuffed animals. Tara and Marcus sat on the couch, wrapped in a shared blanket. "I've never had this before," she said. "The quiet, the safety. It used to scare me. Now I can't imagine life without it." Marcus brushed a strand of hair from her face. "Neither can I." Then from his pocket he pulled something small. Tara froze. It wasn't a ring, it was a key to his place. "I want you and Jamie to move in. Not because I need to save you, but because I love you. I love that boy like he's mine. And I want to build this with you." Tara stared at the key. Tears welled up in her eyes. She took it. "I spent so long trying to do everything alone," she whispered. "But maybe, just maybe, love was always meant to be shared." They held each other in silence, the kind of silence that holds everything. Could letting someone in be the bravest thing you ever do? And what if, after all the storms, this is what healing looks like? Months later, a new picture sat on the fireplace. It was hand-drawn by Jamie, him, Tara, and Marcus under a bright sun, all holding hands. Above them, in shaky, 7-year-old handwriting, it read, "My real dad, the one who stayed." Tara stood with Marcus, arm around his waist. The road ahead wasn't guaranteed. Life would still throw punches, but now they'd face them together. She smiled and whispered the words that had once felt impossible. "I love you. We love you. Thank you for fixing more than just my car." He kissed her forehead and replied, "Thank you for letting me in." Final reflection. In the end, isn't that what we all want? Someone who shows up when the engine fails, but stays to rebuild the whole ride with you. Someone who loves your child like their own, and loves you, even with the dents and scratches. Not because they have to, but because they choose to.